Well, good morning and welcome back to the allotment and the channel. We know it's sunny and I get my tarp out and I'm telling you, it is warm already and we're around 8 o'clock. So what I'm going to do today is nothing too physical, because over the weekend, I say over the weekend, the back end of last week, I did a job where we had to remove a sort of medium-sized conifer hedge, and it was a very, very difficult task. But before we did that, we had to sort of, shape it down with the hedge cutters. And these still hedge cutters are heavy in themselves, so having to hold them up and thinking it's damaged all my neck. So I ain't doing much today. So what I thought I'd do is do a plot tour and see how things are getting on. And I'm looking at the plot and it's looking absolutely luscious. The centrepiece is starting to look a little bit tired, so I'm going to have to get in there and do a little bit of deadheading. Yeah, well, let's chat and I'll take you up. Before I take you around, Yorkshire Water have imposed a hosepipe ban for the whole of the Yorkshire area. So what that means for us down here on the allotment is that we can no longer use our hose pipes to fill our water butts. So what we have to do is we have to take our watering can and walk to the nearest tap, which is out of the plot left and probably about 10 metres. So you can imagine how time consuming that's going to be. Now I do have my IBC tanks, but I was hoping to sort of get those levels up before I started using them. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to use the watering can and just go back and forth and water, and see how I go. And then if I get balled off with that, I'll start using the stuff in the IBC. Right, but that's what you get for privatisation. And I don't want to rant. I don't want to rant. But water, as we all know, is an absolutely vital commodity to man and nature. So what does our government do? We sell it off to a private investor, a private company. We're in a capitalist society. So what's their aim? Their aim is to make as much money and as much profit as they can, using as little expenditure, so that the shareholders can get their little bit of a bonus. And what's happened, certainly in Yorkshire Water, don't know about anywhere else, but they don't invest. We've known about this climate change and how, this weather's going to be more and more reoccurring. I don't think they've built a reservoir, So don't get me on it, it winds me up. Everybody's expected to pay. You don't pay your bill, they're coming after you. But I'll tell you this now, hosepipe bans or not, your bill won't go down. Trust me. Let's get off that politics. It only raises my blood pressure. Here we go. This plant was given to me by Graham over the road. And apparently it gets absolutely massive. And it self-seeds itself. And I really do like it. So I'm hoping that that's going to be going in my garden at some point. And there's a little wee one down there. The tomatoes in the hanging baskets are looking good. Some of them are starting to ripen up there. I might take that one. That one's doing just as well. And the garden is looking lovely. Oops. That sunflower's not looking too clever. The marigolds have taken well. So I'm pleased about that. And I think that's what I'm going to do every year. Rather than sort of clutter the whole small greenhouse up, I'm going to put my marigolds and basil outside. It doesn't say you have to plant them side by side. For anything to get in there, they've got to fly through these doors. So hopefully they'll be distracted by the marigolds. Everything's looking lush in the big greenhouse. I've got some lovely peppers forming. There we go. All of them are bearing fruit, so I'm really pleased with that. I've got some aubergines to take there, so I'm pleased about that. The yard long is going mental, and look at these. Look at these. Look at those beans. So I'm really pleased about that, and I'm glad that I got the advice to take them in from Danny over at Grow Up. I watched Peter down at the Cornwall, I'm not sure what his channel's called, and he did he gathered the pollen using an A4 piece of paper, and I did that. So I'm hoping, and I put it on all these hairs here and all around the back there, so I'm hoping to get some cobs, at least one. Tomatoes doing well in here. I tidied this melon and tomato bed up here, but it seems to have grown a bomb since then. Right, let's get out. This bed is looking lovely with the dahlias. The only problem that I've got is that the dahlias, which were all cuttings, all this year's cuttings, are swamping the roses there. But next year, hopefully the roses will be bigger, and the intention is for this to be a rose bed, and I'll put some small bedding plants in the front. It won't be the dahlias, but there's some beautiful roses in there. I'm sure I had a yellow one. Sure, definitely. I'm gonna have to look back. That's red. That one's red. That one's like a pinky colour, and that one's red. Never mind. I'll do. What did I go do? Spot the deliberate mistake. This bed was intended for the I'm going to put brassica bed, and I'm going to build another brassica cage. And I've had a brain fart. 2-3 hours later, I've planted it up with them sugar sticks that I still haven't confirmed from. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until this beetroot is ready to go. I'll take that out, and I'm going to make that the late brassica bed. Fennel's doing okay there, and the carrots are doing okay, but there's no sign of germination on the spring onions that I've put in here. But there's time yet. There's time yet. Leeks are looking really nice, and it does seem as though that's happening because this leek here that I've put in the tube is way taller than the rest. So I'm hoping that I get a nice long white stem on those, and if that's the case, it might be something that I do each year. The runner beans are finally starting to latch on and flower, so that's good news. The brassica bed is looking lovely. I'm going to have to get in there and do a little bit of weeding, but I can't do that until probably next week because, as I say, I've damaged my neck muscles and shoulder muscles doing that hedge cutting. I've been in absolute agony since Friday, so that'll have to wait. Down here are some broccoli, so I'm going to have to get those taken before they blow. So I'm going to cut them out at least today and take them home. The beans are looking better. The dwarf beans, they're starting to look a lot more healthier and livelier. The cabbage, I've got to start getting the cabbage. I've told Margaret next door to come and take some lettuce. Told her to come and take some, and I'm going to take 2 or 3 home for the kids. As I said, the centrepiece is looking a little bit tired. I have been throwing watering cans at this. I'll do that before I go today, and I need to just catch up with some deadheading. The cabbages and the kale are doing okay. There does seem to be a little bit of damage down there I think that might be a slug that's got in. But these all here are looking lovely. As we walk through, the potatoes are looking okay. I've been putting a watering can on these every other day, on each row every other day, and nipping the flowers off. There's a point. Do you nip your flowers off? I've heard differing tales about that. The tomatoes, I need to get in and take some of the green growth off those, but they are really, really healthy. There's quite a lot of tomatoes on the lower stems. I just need to sort of like cut them back and let's get some light in there, and hopefully they'll pick up. The sweet corn is, oh well, I mean that one there must be 7 foot, that one. There we go, you can see that. I don't know if you saw that. Watch when I tap this, you might see the pollen just coming off. Yeah, so they're wind pollinating themselves. What I might do is steal a little bit of this pollen and take it in there. They are the same variety. I take it into the greenhouse and give that another go. Right, let's go. The potatoes in the bag now. I'm just going to leave those. I'm going to just cut that back and I'm going to leave them. I'm not going to bother watering them anymore. I'm just going to cut it back, leave them and take them when I need them. I'm going to harvest the rest of this beetroot. I've got 1 or 2 people who want some beetroot, so I'm going to harvest that. That'll leave me a free bed. I took quite a few. Of the courgettes home yesterday, so there's nothing to take there. I'm going to get some of the spring onions. I'm going to get them home today. And across here, the parsnips. Now, these are the ones that I put in and transplanted in here. That feels like a biggish head, but I can feel straight away that that's split. You know what, let's pull this one out, eh? Oops, snappage. There we go, you can tell, look. There we go. That's split. But it'll still eat. Now, I was worried about that because I think what's happened, I used to have, I sieved all the soil when I used to have them down on the bottom plot. And when I transferred everything up here and I brought the soil with me, I think I've got a little mixed up. And I think that that is not the sieved soil. So, hence the splitting. But you know what? They'll eat. They'll go around the beef and they'll eat. They'll be okay. There we go. The cos lettuce, the Lola Rossa and the little gem has started to germinate just, and the radish is doing okay. We roll round in here now. This is there's definitely a large improvement here with the butternut squash and the pumpkins. They're really going and loving this heat, and I definitely have to get the water on this. So I'll be doing that. I've had plenty of crookneck squash, and there's still quite a few in there to be had. It's lovely and quiet down here. I don't think there's going to be many people down, to be fair. They might just come down, water and go. There is, and that's starting to orange up now, is that pumpkin. And at this side we've got another crookneck, and that's got a few new flowers on. But the tomatoes compared to last year is unbelievable. Oh, somebody else has turned up. I don't know who it is. Yep, so I have got some basil, which I've been deadheading all the time, and I've got also some, oh, here we go, people. These are my bush tomatoes, and that's just fallen off. That's just literally fallen off into my hand, saying, eat me, Mal, eat me. And that's what I'm going to do. More pumpkins. That one's doing well, and I think there's a smaller one over in the corner there. So what I will do is I'll cut this trailer off now and just let it focus, putting all its energy into those. The rhubarb at the back there is being swamped by the pumpkin, and I think we've got a butternut in there as well somewhere. It's always good when you go looking and you find wood hidden behind a leaf. I don't know what it is about it, but it's quite a buzz. Right, so here we've got my IBC. Now, we haven't had a lot of rain, but that feels very, very heavy. So I'm going to take a look at that and see how much water I've got in there. Got some more timber. These lats. Absolutely perfect. How many is there? There's 19 there, and on each one there's 10 lats. So there's 190 lats there. That's going to come in for something. Over here, Lily's bed is doing well. It's starting to fill out, and I've put some of the soil in there, the fresh soil, and that looks great. The apple trees are going to get, the apple and the pear trees are going to get a drenching before I go as well. I'll show you how far I've got to walk to the tap with the watering can. So you come out of my plot and you can go left, go right, sorry, or you can go left. So you walk down here and you can see where the barrel is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this on now and fill it up. It's quite full already. So I'll turn that on and get that filling. And then what I have to do is, obviously you can see where the wood store is. So it is going to be a bit of a trek, you know, and it certainly does put a lot of pressure on folk. Let's get back up to the top of the plot. Look at this verbena. You've literally got to brush past it to get across the path. I'm not complaining, I do like it. So I'm quite lucky. I have, before the hosepipe ban came in, I did fill my water butts up. So they have got a decent amount of water in. Oh no, there's a ladybird there, I can't leave that. Come on. There we go. Let's go on there. On we go. There we go. Are you like that? I can't walk past my water butts if there's a ladybird or if there's a bee in there. Oh, what? Gosh, 2 ladybirds there. Come here. Come on. Come here, you. Oh, let me get that one off first. They must have fallen in off the budlier. On there. On there so I can look at you, mate. Sorry about this filming, but I can't leave them. Where are we? Where's the other one? Ah, there it is. This one's refusing to come. Come on. There we go. Have you got you? Have I got you? Where are you? Where have you gone? It's flown off. It's flown off. Yeah, I can't leave them. Are you the same? They do a really good job on the allotment. So, right, so I'm back up at the top. This is going to be a right trek. Well, forgive me for this rather shorter video than normal for a weekend, but it's absolutely toast out there and I've got a lot of walking to do. So I'm going to call it a day, but I will be back with you definitely through the week, God willing, and we'll see where we get to. If anybody's got any pointers on the hosepipe ban, I'm just wondering if, because I'm okay physically and well enough to be able to make that trek, but we've got quite a few allotment holders here that are a lot older than me and a lot less able, and I'm just wondering if there's anything within the hosepipe ban rules that makes concessions for that, because I'm just thinking Margaret, who's on the plot next to me, she's a lot older than me and frailer, not as strong, and I think that walk is going to be a little bit much for her. So I'm just wondering if there's anything within the rules of the hosepipe ban that might compensate for that and allow her to at least fill her barrels and do it that way. If anybody's got any ideas, you know, please let me know, and I'll get in touch and speak to the committee about it. But I just think some of the older plot holders that we've got are going to really struggle with this. I mean, I'm fine, I'm keen, I don't want my plants to die, I'm down here every day anyway, so yeah, my plot will be okay, a little bit more work, but certainly some of the other plots and the plot holders, they're going to really struggle. So yeah, if you know anything, let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I'm going to leave you now. I hope you have a glorious rest of the weekend. Thank you very much to all those people that subscribe and like and comment. If you haven't subscribed, do the usual. Hit that subscribe button, it'd be fantastic. Right, I'm Mo, known as the Veg Plot Man, and I'm on my way. So take care, have a great week, and happy growing.